What's going on, everyone? This is Corey with Xbox Tavern with another review. This week I'm taking a look at a game that has eluded the Xbox ecosystem for years now, and that is Kena Bridge of Spirits. It has finally made its way to our platform where we can play, get our achievements, and see what it is all about. So let's kick it off right there. Kena Bridge of Spirits is a story-driven third-person action-adventure game where you play as Kena, who is a spirit guide, and you quickly come to the realization that you need to help these spirits out in order to kind of resolve why they're still here. So as far as the story goes, it's very beautiful, and that goes for the visuals as well. If I could sum this up in like one quick sentence to anybody, this is like a Pixar movie that is made for teenagers that you could play. That's kind of what it reminds me of. So the game is just absolutely gorgeous, from the cutscenes to the actual gameplay animation. It is just really nice. The story itself, the little bits and pieces that you're getting, it's really beautiful, and it can be really sad, but they resolve really well as well. So that's kind of like the high level, the top of the peak of the Kena Bridge of Spirits mountain. Now, if we start to come down a little bit, there are some things about the game that maybe aren't the best, but I still think it's actually really good. So let's talk about the combat. The combat is kind of simple, and to be honest, I really like it that way. You have a light attack and a heavy attack to start out with. And as you go and help these spirits, you're going to get abilities in order to aid you in your combat and your traversal. Now, one thing that this game does really well is, as it introduces a new ability, you will definitely be prompted to use that ability in like that area that you're in and throughout the rest of the game as well. But they kind of build on it as you get them. So they do a really good job of having you master that ability. And that goes with navigating the environment to fighting the enemies as well. So while it is simplistic, I think that actually helps its case, at least for its enjoyment in this game for me. Getting really complex combat, it can be a turnoff, but here it's very light, and I think that it aids itself for you to come back and play it at a little bit later date. So if you're one to jump around in games like I am and you can forget controls, the simpler the controls, the easier it is to get back to. So simplistic controls, still an okay thing for me. Now, the other part of the game is the navigating. So this is a third-person action game, like I said, action adventure, and there are some platforming puzzles that you have to figure out. So far, I've been able to figure out all of them that I've come across. So that's going to just tell you that they're not too hard. Actually, the parts that have been the most difficult when it comes to platforming is sometimes figuring out where to go. There are ledges that you can hang on to and climb around, climb up on. And there's one part in particular that I just couldn't see the ledge. It was really just bad lighting is what it turned out to be. But other than that, it's been super easy, pretty straightforward for how open the game feels. So I never felt lost, and if you do, there's a map that uncovers as you uncover the land, and there are points of interest located on the map as far as the story goes, so it's never hard to figure out where you are and where to go. Kind of backstepping to the combat a little bit, I want to talk about the enemies. There are not a ton of different enemy types, but there are enough to, again, make you use your abilities in a very unique way to where you feel like you have really mastered them. Now, that is to say, I'm also playing on kind of the normal difficulty. There are several difficulty levels to choose from, and they do different things. So there's some accessibility to this game, which is nice as well. But the enemies never seem like they came up too often. As you kind of explore, you'll have small pop-ups of enemies, or you'll come into like a big open circular arena type area, and you know a fight is about to go down. And there you really do feel like you are the master of your powers. But outside of that, it's really just like onesies and twosies, but it's not too constant to where it's annoying. So there's a good balance, at least on my difficulty, of how the enemies appear. But that's about it for the negatives. I didn't really run across any bugs. The game has been out for a bit, but just came to Xbox, so I kind of anticipated that those would be fixed. And it seems like they are. There was nothing game breaking or anything like that, or any bugs that I even remember that they're worth mentioning. So it plays really smoothly. Again, it looks beautiful. There's voice acting and just the music in it as well. It all comes together in a really nice package. And yeah, it's a good time. So if you've been waiting to play this from other platforms, you now have the opportunity to do that on Xbox. So if that interests you, definitely check it out. But if you are not on xboxtavern.com already, be sure to go there. I'll have my final score for the game as well as other reviews. For this one, I've been Corey. I will catch you in the next review.